I need a tender, and I think it should be of comparable size. The problem, well, our problem I'm thinking about right now is, like, it'd be good to have a door in the back of this that then can access the tender, but because of the pivot point being so far up here, it would, yeah, I just don't see how that could line up at all without cutting most of the rear off. But now I'm going to paste in this power wagon, get rid of the motors so I can just drag it, and I will cut out, oh dear, huh, it's had such a massive height difference. So even if I build a tender that has access, I would need some kind of step down thing from the main loco, because it still needs to be compatible with everything else. Alright, I want to get down to this corner here and see how much it flexes. So yeah, we're going pretty slow, only doing 30 k's here. It's probably not flexing that much. What I'd have to do is attach the gangway to this, to the connectors, and then that would mean it's floating up above here, not connected to the main body. This gap here could be a bit too close. Let's see if it's going, will it impact at any corners? I don't think there's any sharp enough corners on this bit of track to see it impact. It is close. I haven't seen it impact yet, but it is close. I think to be safe, I should probably push it back. It looks very different. It's a very different feel. Oh well, I'll try that. What I'm thinking is I should take the gangway. I should take this gangway and cut it down so that it's still going to connect, because it connects at the bottom, so I don't need to worry about the top. And then flip just this piece. I may not do this. You know, this is just, I just want to see if this is a good option. And then attach that onto the pivot. Yeah, this isn't going to work. So this block here, this 3x3, is the pivot that's allowing fluid to pass through. So if I put a gangway on top, that would be connected to this, which would pivot way back up here, which means the whole top section of it would be clipping into the pivot. So that's really not going to work. I would have to pull the gangway further forwards, move all these connectors further forwards, and then you end up with this thing hanging down off the back. I really would like a gangway on it though. It just means it's a lot more flexible for what it can be used for. So the reason that I use a pivot is because the hinge makes it stick out quite a lot further than where this last wheel will come to. But if I was using the hinge, then I can push it up quite a bit closer. It might just be that I need to redesign how the rear wheel works. So I need one block space so that I can pipe up and over. I think that's the gangway sorted, to be honest, if I want to do it like that. I think the idea with these kinds of trains is that the cab really does hang over the back quite a lot, so it'd be like if you had another wheel all the way at the back. But what I can do from here, I don't think I need those blocks necessarily. And then we just take some stairs and go up. It's just because there's two things that are gonna be fighting each other the whole way. If this doesn't work, then we have to give up on the whole gangway idea. Why is there a stair there? So it should connect fine, it's whether or not it crashes into anything as we go around that corner. And I'm not even, this corner down here isn't even the sharpest corner in the map. I mean, that's good enough. in terms of being able to just walk down a thing, you do bonk your head a little bit. And I can close off this outside area. Will it break? Will it break? What is going on here? How did that not break? So I can probably start the wedges a bit later and give myself more headroom through here. How has it not broken? Look at this. And then I should put windows in the back as well so you can see out the back. Okay, as goofy as that might look with the connectors being so far away from the wheels, I think that's a good idea because it lets me... Uh-oh. Yeah, this thing can be covered because this piece here is the gangway, and then this bit further back is not really the gangway. I would say it's more of part of the locomotive. So if this ever breaks in the future, video proof that it did work at one point. It does look kind of weird though, doesn't it? Let me paint it grey and see how weird it looks. It kind of looks like the front of a train. And that I could spin this whole thing around. We'll just go backwards. Yeah, that looks like a more normal profile though. Trying to hide the gangway behind here. I'm going to put in this 1x2 and try and wall it off. This doesn't really seem like the best idea, to be honest. Okay, windows. I think I can only put a window on one side because of where I've got the camera and the spotlight. I mean, that at least lets you see backwards if you're going in reverse. I'm going to cut this wedge and put that as part of the loco. And I might do a 3 wide window there. And now there's no door to stop you from falling down there. That's not good. The only kind of door I could put in here would be the hinged door. And then that's also going to clip into something. Is this just a cursed idea? I'd have to bring the wall way up to the top of that. A single door like that, then a wall so that you can still see through the window at the back. Lets me bring these windows back on one side. Probably chuck a wedge in here. And then I just have to close off that section, pretend it's not there. This is a very strange locomotive. Kind of looks like a stormtrooper or something. If it's not gonna break, we'll give it a go. Alright, so now onto the thing I actually want to build is the tender. So this will be pretty much, I'm going to have to use the gangway as it is here. Copy that, spin it around, because I need to hinge and everything anyway. This style locomotive has just loads and loads of wheels on the attenders. I'm going to grab the big 3 one, because I need this anyway to get the pivot and the piping and everything. I need actually a lot of it. So I'll spin it and then we'll need to cut the wheels off and put them back on. Oh yeah, that pivot actually needs to move to the middle. A lot of this actually needs to change, doesn't it? It does need a fluid pivot to be able to transfer the fluids up. So at the very least I would have to put a pivot like that. It's connected to motors so that it can be an extra power source of wheels, which is okay. This pipe needs to connect to these pipes because it's transferring fluids. So now all the motors are connected to all those wheels, cover up that. And on this one, what will happen is the pipe goes up and then it needs to enter on a T, no, just a straight pipe here. And then that needs to enter on a T to pick up the power from the wheel. And then somewhere in the middle, I'll need a pivot, a fluid pivot, just to sit on top like that, which then I need a T4. And I'll turn this completely off, zero all that out. And that is how the fluid is going to get from the tender into the main locomotive. And it can also go the other way because... Can it go the other way? It should go the other way, right? I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Because then if you wanted to hook it up the other way, backwards, that'd be fine. There'll be two of these sets of wheels. One for the front, one for the back. So I'll just copy that, push it back. And then that'll mean that I can actually get rid of the pipe going towards the back and just sort of flatten that off. That end just ends, and then this end will just end as well. So that'll be a 90. Where the gangway comes in, there is a steer that I cut from the loco, but I think I might actually need that because usually I would put the floor right there, which lines up with the floor of the gangway. But because the pivot is above, we're going to have to go up and get over this box piece at some point. I like the idea of the gangway, I just don't like how it's all raised up and everything. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this. I'm getting rid of power to that central wheel. You'll be fine without it. So instead there'll be a T, and then the pipe just goes around. And so that can come through to there. Yeah, that's way better. So much better. And then I just go out 6, I think. 6. So some of these tenders are they're pretty high. They go right up to the top of the loco. Some of them have the gangway go straight through the middle. And some of them it looks like there's a coal section at the back that's a bit higher, and then maybe it must be like a water tank further back. The main thing is I want a walkway down the side though. So this will work. I'm going to divert the wall over to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then have the wall run down like that, which means I probably need to... This is very similar to how the power car's internal layout is. It's basically gonna be the same, but this is a fuel tender. And so I'll need to do the same thing with this pivot where I got rid of everything in here. I mean, realistically, these tenders are not powering the train anyway. But in the case of TCP and Stormworks, it's helpful. Helpful to have that extra power. So that would give you 4 more sets of wheels to be running. Cut this, bring it forwards. I'm going to go... They should be really close, shouldn't they? Just a gap of 2. Because it's a really big tender anyway. And I just need to copy this piece, I think. Spin it, and then connect where those rope anchors are, line them up, and merge that onto that, this onto that. So it's 4 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the wedge. And on this side it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the wedge. I think what would be really cool is if it was kind of exposed on the outside. Something like that. I'm going to make the roof profile the same so it matches as a set. This will come back to here. And I might overhang the gangway 1, maybe 2, maybe 2. Why is it not working? Is it just so heavy? It is, just so heavy. bring it up to 120 because that's sort of the set speed. I feel like I should probably get rid of the overhang on the tender, but it has got a... Oh, it needs one of these. It needs a wedge to wedge it back in. And this is really close. I didn't think it would be a 1 block gap. As long as we don't break anything. Uh-oh. What hit? What was it? What was it? It was the sound of something getting damaged, so there must be damage somewhere. Can't see any damage. Am I blind? Oh, there's damage on the top here. Okay. So that could be from impacting the tender. I don't know if that's actually caused by the weird shape of the train or if it's just some bad placement. It might have been pulled too far because of how this whole system is pivoting. There's not too much I can do because the door is right there. I'd have to push the door back and then put in wedges or something. Let's just keep rolling with it. I think I want to have this open, but it would look really cool if I could just put a big decal on the side. And then what's going to happen, the two pipes that come up through the pivots, because they're in the middle, they kind of just have to come up where they come up. They're just going to passively turn in. I think we'll just fill it with diesel, right? Oh, better put valves, I reckon. Better put valves. Yeah, those pipes don't connect in there, so we can put valves on each one of these. Just do an on-off valve into a normal port end. And this whole thing, maybe not up in the roof. Well, why not? Why not up in the roof? This is a massive fuel tank though. Anchor, take a fluid anchor and yeah, I'll cut that out on both sides. We'll have fluid anchor there and then the battery anchor right beside it, and then a dial. I think the instrument panel would look better here. We'll clear off the top row and we'll have this one will be fuel level, or be like tender fuel level. Gauge, vertical, 0 min, whatever max is, channel 1, and then tender battery, be a dial, 0 and 1, channel 2, arrow button up, and arrow button down, and these will be pump in and pump out. I'll make these toggles, because it's such a big tank, you would be sitting here forever. You can't sit and hold the button forever. And then behind that, I'll just put a little wedge wall. I do need a hose somewhere though. And a hose and a cable would be good here. What if I push that up one, then get rid of the wedge behind there. Then I can put a hose and a cable. I'm going to put a little hatch on that, I think. I could do 2 hatches, like a door. Oh yeah, it's 2 on each side, so that would work. I really want to put a light in here, but there's not any super good place to do it. So instead, I'm going to use a paintable indicator. Replace all the background as grey. Then put a wedge in front, like what I actually want to have happen. Then I'm going to take black. Yeah, and build a little light looking thing. That is my light. And then if I take an RGB light, jam it in behind here somewhere. And then I'll grab the grey and turn this as additive, so it gives off that a lot of white light. And then we just need to figure out what the RGB or the HSV will be. Next thing, we'll get some pumps. Oh, we should get a valve as well. A valve. We're gonna hide this. It's such a long tender anyway. I was thinking if I made it longer, if I increase the gap in the middle, then I can make everything longer and I can fit a valve in here somewhere. I really want a manual override valve, but I think it should be, or it could be on a separate system or a separate pipe. Because that way I can just run 2 pipes in here and then put the fluid ports on them. Oh, why am I doing this in symmetry? Oh, I didn't think about this. I didn't think about this. No. Okay, wait, doesn't matter. What I'll do, I'll just get rid of it on one side. I'm going to put a pipe here, then a valve, then the pipe will go back up, then it will go up into the wall, come back down. We'll have another anchor. And there is your manual override. It's not really an override as such, it's just a manual port. Ta-da! Fuel tank, done. And for batteries, I'm going to store them in this back section at both ends. So it should be able to be used as just a battery as well. Wonder if I should have manual valves as an extra pickup as well. Rear manual fuel valve, and then front manual fuel valve. Oh, I could put this behind a hatch. That'd be really cool. Sliding hatch, sliding hatch, sliding hatch. So this hatch will be able to slide down and you can reach into the back here. So now I've just got to work my way. Work my way into this pipe here. So front valve will go, I pipe across. I can just chuck a port on it. So it'll come out of the tank, go through the valve, come down to the bottom, enter into a solid pipe, which will then, I think that's a door. That's a door. It'll go down, back across, back down into the floor. And then from the floor, it'll come across and intercept that pipe. So this one won't change. So that will allow fuel to flow out of the tank into the front port. This one will go up, I think. It's probably just easier to go up, right up to the roof, perhaps. Come over here, go all the way down. Oh, all the way to here. It's not really the most ideal path, but it'll work. Then I'll put my liquid meter in here and probably the spawner. So all the important stuff is managed down here. You can probably put some microcontrollers in there as well to fill out the shape, physics shape. I also probably should have a gas relief valve. I'm wondering how much of this needs to be a fuel tank, because it's just going to be heavy, isn't it? It's going to be real heavy. Even just this section is massive for a fuel tank. Don't really need anything in the top there. Right, so the gas relief, I figure if I've got 2 of them, then it'll make it easier to pump in and out. Okay, onto logic. One by, how big will this controller be? I've got pivot in and out. I also need a button on here to control the pivoting. Thinking this electrical anchor could go there, like inside it, because then that lets me put a toggle button, big toggle button, and I can just open and close the doors. So button in, pivots out, fuel in, battery in, pump out, pump in, comp out. I need 8, I think. So now, push this button. That light goes on, but actually the RGB or HSV light is on under here as well. So even in the dark, you can't see anything. You can't see anything. Why did we get stuck with such dumb lights? I feel like the light on the button is brighter. I'm gonna have to move that light. Yeah, I think that's right, except I would like the light to be better. And what I'm thinking, it's kind of stupid, but it would work. So we want to illuminate this whole area. So I'm going to take the RGB light and chuck it up here. Chuck 2 of them up here. That way I can just cover up this hole. This probably won't work. I can see this not working. Then I'm going to connect from that same pivot onto those 2. Make sure the electricity is... and connect the composite to the other light. So now that folds away, but when you turn the button on, the lights come out. I mean, that's not actually what I wanted to have happen, but that does work. I wanted it to go the other way. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's kind of what I wanted, where it's just on a slight angle to give you some light. Let you see what's going on. I've got no fuel because there's a hole in it now. So it's dark, can't see anything. I know it's over here somewhere. I get close. Alright, it lights up a bit. There we go. And now it just stays on even if I walk away. I'm a little bit concerned about the connection between the loco and the tender. That's come out pretty well though, eh? It just needs a little bit of decoration, and I'm going to decorate this as one unit and then cut it in half so you can get the tender or the loco on their own, for style reasons anyway. I think it's going to be better to style it all at once. So now that I've got all the shape and base set out, I'll go through and start adding details like pipes and the chimneys, and we'll do the engine as well. One more train to add to the collection. Oh well, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.